Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom Aleichem, Evenu Shalom Aleichem. Shalom, shalom, shalom aleichem. Hey, announcements. Right?
Huh?
Announcements.
I don't even know what you're doing. Are we on the air? Yeah. David? We are, okay. I'm killing some time because David's trying to get the, David, hi guys, come on in. Hey, Wissam. Huh? אני לא שומע. Which finger should I use to do that? No. Right over. Helps me a lot. I appreciate it. No, I do appreciate it. But the fact is, it was an alarm for a new pill. This is an ongoing shtick. There's a lot of ongoing shtick. It's like tuning into the Tonight Show without the talent and the humor and the, except, of course, for the director of music, who is Doc Severance. Everybody here remembers who that is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, not my Sunday group. They don't, the Sunday people, the kids and their parents, if you say Johnny Carson, they have no idea what you're talking about, which is a loss. All right, everybody, so we are ready to go, right, David? Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome. So after a wonderful Pride Shabbat last week, and thanks to all of you who came, and if you missed it, we had 90 people here. The talk by Tim Retzloff was just wonderful. He is the professor at MSU, and you can go online to our YouTube page and learn some of the history of early gay liberation, as they called it in those days, in Michigan. A couple of program notes. Next week we are off because it's sort of our 4th of July break. Even though it's really not connected to one or the other, we always take one on the closest Shabbat. When we return, I've actually got several weeks that it's just going to be me speaking. So if that's an incentive, I hope to see you. If you're waiting for the next great speaker, we've got some of them in July as well, including, and I don't know the name of the speaker, but we're going to have a visit from some students from Oxford High School and some people who are working for rational gun control in our country and in our region especially. We're also going to have a visit with State Senator and President pro tempore, I think, of the State Senate, Jeremy Moss. So check that out. We're here every week in July, and then in August it'll change up a little bit. So please be sure to consult the newsletter. I want to, well, in a few moments I will introduce Mike Whitty, but I also want to thank the Whittys for sponsoring the Oneg Shabbat tonight. Very, very much appreciated. Mike always, Joseph always wanted to be an organist at a football stadium or a baseball stadium, right? So, well, maybe someday we'll make that come true. There you go. Does that mean I'm up to bat? Go. That's what you say when you hear that? No, it's charge. Our readers tonight are Sheila Glass, Marty Bernstein, Natan Fuchs, Lonnie Fleischer, Beth DeZoden Fuchs, and Susie Friedman. And we will begin, Arthur, if you will, on the very first slide. I'm going to actually surprise the Whitties to ask them to light the candles in just a moment. Just hold off. We'll do the first reading. I meant to ask you earlier. As the sun descends and the shadows lengthen, the distractions of the day give way to the stillness of night. It is time now for us to see, not with our eyes, but with our hearts and minds. As the day gives way to evening, it is time for us to welcome Shabbat. Now I'd like to invite the Whitties up to light our Shabbat candles. Hopefully you have a starter flame there.
Baruch haor ba'olam, Baruch haor ba'adam, Baruch haor ba'shalom, ba'shalom, Baruch haor, Baruch haor, Shabbat.
No, Sheila, sorry. Sheila. Sheila, I think you have reading number 3.
Let us endeavor to find still moments, quiet spaces within to refresh ourselves, moments without ceaseless questions or inner debates when we meditate only on goodness. Let us endeavor to nurture courage, recalling moments of strength. Let us remember days of fortitude and the power that we found. Let us endeavor to turn to light, to feel the warmth of a loving touch, our faces and fingers outstretched, alive, alive to each other.
Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena la Shabbat. Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena la Shabbat. Naria, naria, l'yom simchatenu, nekadma b'shalom. Naria, naria, l'yom simchatenu, Bizmirot naria lo. Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena la Shabbat. Lechuneranena, lechuneranena, lechuneranena la Shabbat. Naria, naria, letuchenu, nekadma b'shalom. Naria, Naria, Leyom Simkatenu, Bizmirot
Naria lo.
Lechunaranana, 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 La Shabbat, Lechunaranana, 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 La Shabbat.
There are times when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. But when we gather on Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are times when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. When we gather on Shabbat, we consider our true place on this planet.
Mishkenoteka Yisrael, Atovu Alecha Yaakov, O Alecha Yaakov, Mishkenoteka Yisrael, Likrat Shabbat, Lechu v'nelcha, Lechu v'nelcha. Mekor habracha, ma tovu, o alecha Yaakov, o alecha Yaakov, mishkenoteka Yisrael, ma tovu, o alecha Yaakov, o alecha Yaakov, mishkenoteka
May we strive to live loving, compassionate lives with our hearts, with our wisdom, and with our actions. Those words we inscribe in our innermost being, aspiring to practice them day and night, teaching them diligently to our children through our words and especially through our deeds, so that the next generation may learn to revere and celebrate life.
Tikvati, tikvati bi, evo kochi, kochi bi, vegam bak, evo kochi, kochi bi, vegam bak, where is my light? My light is in me. Where is my hope? My hope is in me. Where is my strength? My strength is in me. And in you. And in you. Where is my strength? My strength is in me. And in you. And in you.
Shabbat Shalom all.
Shabbat Shalom.
the transforming power of love, the redeeming power of compassion, the healing power of forgiveness, these endure in every age. The joy which comes from sharing, the strength which comes from striving, the nourishment which comes from nature, these endure in every age. The sanctity of life, the value of truth, the primacy of justice, these endure in every age. Amidst never-ending change, may we have the wisdom to know and to cherish those teachings which endure in all time.
נפתח לנו שערי צדק, וחסד ורחמים. נפתח לנו שערי צדק, וחסד ורחמים. זה השער לשלום, נפתח לנו ונבוא בם. זה השער לשלום, נפתח לנו ונבוא בם. נפתח לנו שערי צדק, כן וחסד ורחמים. נפתח לנו שערי צדק, כן וחסד ורחמים.
When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us, when, to the last full measure of selfless devotion, we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness, then goodness encompasses our lives, and we can begin to change the world.
מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים לראות טוב. מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים לראות טוב. נצור לשון המרע ושפתיך מדבר מרמה. סור מרע ועשה טוב, בקש שלום ורודפהו. נצור לשון המרע ושפתיך מדבר מרמה. סור מרע ועשה טוב, בקש שלום ורודפהו. מי האיש החפץ חיים, אוהב ימים לראות טוב.
Don't merely expect to find or to believe that life is worthwhile. Make it worthwhile. Don't merely see life whole, make it whole. Not knowing which should come first, to improve oneself or to improve the world, we end up doing neither. Actually, the only way to improve the world is by improving oneself, and the only way to improve oneself is by improving the world.
לא עליך המלאכה לגמור, לא עליך לגמור, לא עליך המלאכה לגמור, לא עליך לגמור, ולא אתה בן חורין להיבטל ממנה, ולא אתה בן חורין, ולא אתה בן חורין להיבטל ממנה, ולא אתה בן חורין. לא עליך המלאכה לגמור, לא עליך לגמור, לא עליך המלאכה לגמור, לא עליך לגמור.
Sounds really cool on that piano. Although I am excited for you to get the big one back. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart.
נעשה שלום, שלום בעולם, נעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם, ואמרו שלום. נעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם, ואמרו שלום. נעשה שלום, שלום בעולם, נעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל העולם, ואמרו שלום.
In this community where we find strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts toward all those who need our love and support. Those who are ill, those who suffer pain of the body or spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged. Tonight, our well wishes are extended to these members of our community and to their loved ones, to Ruthie Goldman, Ruth Moltz, Mary Monahan, Rabbi Peter Schweitzer, and Jim Walker. And if there's someone whom you're thinking about, please feel free to share. We'll start with Marty. Thank you. Anybody here? Anybody on this side? May all who suffer know that they are not alone, that we are there. May they be healed quickly. May they experience a refuah shlema, a complete recovery, the renewal of their bodies and the renewal of their spirits.
מקום הכוח בתוכנו, מקורות הברכה מחברותינו. May the source of strength that dwells so deep within us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Shalom. Mekom hakoach betochenu, mekorot habracha mi'evrotenu. May those in need of healing know refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Shalom.
Nizkor. I got a promotion. I started to make the call. Then I remembered. I got sick and didn't know what to do. I started to make the call. Then I remembered. I forgot what that Yiddish expression meant. I started to call. Then I remembered. I wanted your recipe, and I started to call. Then I remembered. Good news, bad news, wisdom and guidance. I start to make the calls, but then I remember. You aren't out there. You aren't going to answer. You're in my heart. I'll always remember. Our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every people and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. Tonight, we observe the yard sites of these beloved members of our community and their loved ones. Nathaniel Coburn, Lillian Finkelstein, Sheldon Glass, Emil Haas, Ida Harris, Tova Malinsky, Judith Rockert, Louis Skip Siegel, Margaret Stowicki, and Rose E. Vidra. If there's someone whom you're remembering tonight.
Trudy Shapiro.
Thank you. And yes, yeah. Anybody else on this side?
All those who perished this week in the recent Titanic
Yes.
situation. Also, the immigrants in the Mediterranean Sea that also
Thank you.
suffered, and the situation in Geneva with those inside.
Anybody else? I learned just a few moments before services started that Sheldon Harnick had died, the wonderful lyricist and partner of Jerry Bach, who wrote, of course, the words to many songs, including one that I quoted in our High Holiday presentation, To Life L'Chaim. May his memory be a blessing. I know his music certainly will be. Yehi zichram livracha, we say. May their memories be a blessing in the sense that as we remember them, may they give us pause to remember the moments of joy, the moments of meaning that we shared together. If you can do so comfortably, please rise as together we recite a humanistic interpretation of Kaddish. Nitgadal v'nitkadash beruach ha'adam. Let us dignify and ennoble all people in the spirit of our shared humanity. Let us acclaim the preciousness of life. Let us show gratitude for life by approaching it with reverence. Let us embrace the whole world, even as we wrestle with its parts. Let us each in our own way take up our share in serving the world and seeking truth. May our commitment to life help us to strengthen healing of spirit and peace of mind. May justice and peace permeate and comfort the house of Israel and all those who dwell on earth. And let us say, Ken Yehi, may it be so. Please be seated. So we are, for those of you who were asking, there were a few, this is because, and I'm going to get this wrong, I know, the dampers, did I get it right? The dampers in our piano are being repaired. So that should be, hopefully, by the next time we meet.
Well, I'm still waiting to hear. It's something with moving parts. You're always going to have stuff that wears out. So the dampers are what stop the sound, and you need that, otherwise it keeps on play something that keeps on ringing. So.
And as you may have noticed, the piano just keeps playing itself every week. So without those dampers, we could be here all night. Thank you, Joseph. You know, wait, when I put my paper in here and I didn't take it out that I need right now. So I didn't put welcome Mike Whitty, because that's silly, because Mike and Gail, with an exclamation point, I want it noted, because of her importance to our congregation and their presence here as a dynamic duo and two people who do everything right. And I say that with admiration and respect and with gratitude. It's impossible to sum up the great and important career of Mike Whitty in just a few short moments, so I'm not going to do that tonight. I want instead to talk about what this man, who was first introduced to me in the back library as Dr. Detroit, means to me. He is nothing less than a true hero and a role model. He articulates everything I hold dear and gives me new and better ways to express them, better ideas and takes on ideas every single time I hear him talk in his soft-spoken way, as we discussed earlier, or even just when he pulls me aside and we have an opportunity to share a moment. Mike articulates our humanism in every one of its shades and nuances, pulling out of it practical advice and guidance for living what the philosophers called the good life. He is unafraid to tell it like it is, and that's something that's also inspiring. His insights galvanize me each and every time. This high holiday season, one of my talks will be about wisdom. And Mike, I want you to know now that I'm going to be booking some time with you to talk about that topic, to pick your brain about how you acquired so much of it. He is simply one of the wisest people I've ever met, and also very kind, and that's not always a combination that you find in every person. He lives with integrity, he lives with his values out loud for everyone to see and learn from. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that you were pretty darn lucky, too, having someone who matches your intellect and humanity, as well as your incredible wife and partner, Gail. We all appreciate both of you so very much, and it is, as always, my honor to invite you in just a moment to this bima to speak to us. And for those of you who want more background on Dr. Whitty's numerous achievements, just pull out the Google machine and type Dr. Detroit, and you'll find there profile after profile of the uncountable causes he's spoken for throughout the years, an appreciation by students, by those who have heard his lectures, by those who have spent time with him and learned from him in so many ways. Thank you and welcome to the bima tonight, Dr. Detroit, Mike Whitty.
And this June, Gail and I celebrated our 54th wedding anniversary. So that's my greatest accomplishment so far. Well, the topic, humanistic aging, with a subtitle, Optimism, is crucial to living the rest of your life day to day. If you just live day to day, you don't have to worry about the future. You just stay in the present and appreciate your day and have an attitude of gratitude. So optimism is going to be touched on. Compassion is mentioned here several times in our prayers. So, boy, if we could be more compassionate to ourselves and others, particularly those who get our goat sometimes and disturb us. And if I'm not loud enough, just raise a hand in the back and say, I'm going deaf, I need help. And I have hearing aids too. Isn't it terrible that the one cause I haven't picked up, I wish I had another lifetime, maybe I'll come back to do it, is protect people's hearing from the loud noises that make us lose our hearing gradually over our aging process. So we need a lot more compassion to ourselves, to the people we're near, and the people who are far from. We need to put ourselves in other people's shoes to be more empathic and more compassionate, and we need acceptance of ourselves and acceptance of life. It's tough to accept ourselves with our imperfections, but we have to be even more generous to the rest of the world. We have to accept everybody. I mean everybody, and be forgiving as much as we can. And if we could open our hearts by calming down, we could be better lovers in every sense of the word. Be a loving person. All you need is to open your heart and think with your head and your heart, and you're going to be happier, healthier, and more liked, and you'll be a friendlier person, and people will be friendlier to you. So tonight I'm just trying to cheer us all up. And I'm coming to as a philosopher of the future. I've been a member of the World Future Society for years. They have a publication called The Futurist, and I translate that to say they're forecasters. They look at trends. So I'm looking at macro trends that lead me to believe humanism is a social philosophy that we should be proud of, that is a comprehensive and inclusive philosophy that is represented by this temple. And that is a good legacy mission for all the elders and mentors in this room. That means you could work from your kids and your grandkids and the people that will listen to you. And if you're loving and positive in how you express your values, you might even help a few undereducated friends make the right choices for themselves and for the world. So you have a lot more to offer as elders than this culture honors. So we have lost the old tradition of the wisdom council of the elders around the tribal fire, where we took the great decisions to the elders for them to make the wisest decision. So we need to be that positive psychology elder and mentor, not just a family, but the human family. Optimism can be a civic faith, and we need that kind of outward look to community service and love. What about dedicating the rest of your life to community service and love? That might mean just a backyard party. It might be some friends over to the house. It can be within your reach. Don't just stay a shut-in and be lonely. Invite some people at least to the backyard this summer while we still have a few months of summer coming our way here. And as we age, it's common for us to experience changes in our physical, emotional, and social well-being, not always welcome, but changes due to aging do not necessarily have to be negative. There's a growing body of evidence that suggests that people who adopt more humanistic and optimistic approach to aging can experience greater well-being, health, and longevity. So humanistic aging looks at the issue positively, because individuals are viewed as being able to develop and grow into old age and remain open to new experiences, personal growth, and self-actualization. Relationships, creativity, personal fulfillment in aging. This is a big challenge, but it's a worthy one. We're not as aware of how much we can still do in our lives, and do it gently and in a friendly way, in a loving way, in a positive way. We don't have to demean anyone. We don't have to argue with anyone. We certainly don't have to reflect the popular culture's fears and anger. We don't want to mirror fear and anger. Love is letting go of fear. So we have to at least shrink the fear and build the love. And then you're a loving person, you're friendly, and people like you and want to be around and listen to you occasionally too. So all of this is good. And it's about mental and physical medicine that has researched this and found that optimistic aging produces tangible health benefits, better immune function, faster recovery from illness and injuries, lower rates of chronic disease like heart disease, depression, practical ways to develop a humanistic and optimistic approach to aging, including a focus on growth and self-actualization. So I'm trying to flunk retirement. And I urge many of you who have not completely flunked retirement to give it a try and start off on something that is in your heart. It's one of your core values. It could be family. It could be the lost soul in the family that needs your forgiveness and love. It could be a neighbor. It could be the traffic in Detroit. It could be the television set, which brings us way too much fear and negativity. And frankly, we need a good news network. The media is the new church, but I think it's a false god, because it just scares people, makes them frightened, and makes them angry. And that's not a healthy way to live. We don't want our species to end up that way. We want a happy ending with humanism for our species. So You know, the humanism that emphasizes reason, evidence, and scientific inquiry and understanding and shaping the world we live in, where humanists believe that people have the ability to create a better world through individual freedom, responsibility, a commitment to social justice, pursuit of knowledge and beauty, so that optimistic aging is an approach that can lead to enhanced well-being, better physical and mental health, engaged in life, focus on personal growth, practicing positive thinking, and help you experience a fulfilling and vibrant later life. Think of Jimmy Carter. You know, he became more winning to most of us after he left the presidency. As he got older, he's written a wonderful book as a Southern Baptist, as a born-again Christian, that embraces forgiveness and love. So within all the, even conservative religions, there are small minorities of open-minded, loving people. And you don't have to be a Democrat to respect Jimmy Carter. It's that it's possible to be a loving person in this world, and to be forgiving and kind and friendly. I think friendly is the most common street term I can think of to help people, know that they can be friendly. If others are friendly, the response is generally friendly. So for me, optimism and gratitude is good medicine, and it's good humanism. That's what we want for the future. We want optimism, we want gratitude, we want joy, we want to still dance, and even have a glass of wine occasionally. So, I mean, after all, we can enjoy life and celebrate life, and a lot of our prayers here have relevance to what I'm speaking about, direct relevance, because the world philosophy of humanism must be accompanied by optimism in our sense of the future, a macro optimism, along with a personal optimistic attitude. That's crucial in our self-care for our mental health, and it's good for self and society. They go together, and that was mentioned here too. We not only have to care for ourselves, but we have to be good ambassadors as fellow humans to the rest of our species and the planet we enjoy, and all the things like a nice summer day and getting to the parks and taking a bike ride or walking and doing some exercise and careful eating, good diet. But we also need good attitude. Diet, exercise, and good attitude. That's crucial. And we can look at both the personal possibility of our hopeful future and engage as prophets in our own times by finding our voice, clarity, and courage. Humanism can help us shape the future. We deserve to dive in, as the rabbi has done and his temple has done, from the days of Sherwin Wine to the good rabbi that we have with us tonight. We're on top of things in the world, for refugees, for Black Lives Matter, for gay people, for all people. But we're not only doing that, we're a light unto the nations, and we are able to shape-shift positive attitudes toward our whole region, including our dear city of Detroit. So for me, optimism goes close to the Association of Humanistic Psychology, which I was a member of when I taught in San Francisco. It included secular humanists and liberal religious humanists. Sherwin Wine used to have wayward priests that would come for counseling, and he'd have people from different denominations gravitate to him for his balancing the aspects of religion that are good and escaping the aspects of religion that are negative, judging, guilt, shame, and retribution, and ultimately too much negativity to really comfort our hearts and raise us up a little bit to our best self. So I mentioned the Association of Humanistic Psychology. If you're interested, give it a Google. It's associated with positive psychology. Let a positive humanism speak for our hopes and dreams. Get active with this concept. Speak out for your values. Tikkun olam, to mend the world. After all, that's our special gift as Jewish people, to help mend the world. So we have a useful and critical mission to be peacemakers. But we have to be peaceful people to make good, permanent peace. We can do this together along with humanistic allies towards a future of unity in diversity. a humanistic cry for caring, compassion, and community. Caring, yes, for yourself, for your family, your neighbors, but who is thy neighbor? Everyone is our neighbor, especially in a shrunken world of high tech, where we can get word from everywhere on earth. Not always good news, but we are getting closer as a species because of technology. So we start with ourselves, being more hopeful, kind, and loving, our self-care, our attitude, our values, our mental health, our healing emotions, and gratefulness, an attitude of gratitude, and maybe extending that outward to family, friends, a humanist culture which we're trying to build, and a humanist future for the world. There really aren't many choices other than live and let live until we mature to a higher consciousness and can see our common ground first, not our differences. And we can be, a family. We can be one, a species, that where we're not caught up in flags or countries. Or, what has John Lennon said? Imagine no religion and no nations. We were just one world, a federation with regional differences. You can go to the Cherry Festival in Traverse City or the Grand Prix in Detroit, different kind of vibes, but we all kind of manage to get along. I like the philosopher from Los Angeles. I'd like to get him in here sometime, Rodney King. He had the phrase, "Can't we all just get along?" It sounds cute today, but that's at the heart of the matter. And a couple questions for you to reflect on. Can optimism heal worries? Yes, it can. I had, at my age, 81, I had momentary flashes of death. When would I die? How would I die? How do I know? And then the answer came right to me quickly. It was, relax. You wake up in the morning, you're lucky you're alive, be thankful for the day, live in the moment, live every day. It's not about longevity, it's about the quality of your life. Therefore, death can have a different relationship to your worries, and you can relax in that, and you manage to die. It's the hardship on the survivors who grieve the loss of their friends, their mates, their spouses, but people pretty much manage that. It's the survivors who suffer the loss. So we have to be balancing out our thinking so mind, body, spirit has enough positives to balance out the tough things in life, where you have medical problems, surgeries, people die on you, sometimes unexpectedly, or you have other blues that you're carrying along. But you've got to balance that blues with some tap dancing and some fun. So we need to ask these questions in a number of ways. How does it contribute to your emotional healing? How could optimism help you handle some things that wear you down at times? What about the attitude of gratitude, thankfulness? What about getting up and being thankful for every day? And appreciation of what you do have, not what you don't have. We all have enough if we think that way. If we think humbly and we live simply. Simple living, high thinking. That's Emersonian and very American. So we need to do more caring and compassion. Boy, that's what the society needs, where we care for each other and we're compassionate to each other. And we turn outward to life, society, the world, in service, love, and acceptance of this world. Now that sometimes is challenging, but we really do have to accept life, celebrate it, and accept the world as it is. What is brought to us we can handle. If we take that courage and that strength, we can handle trauma and tragedy as well. So I think you would be a better companion if you were a light unto the nations. And I think we're obliged, karmically, to be light unto the nations. That's a gift of many peoples. But if people look at their lives that way, they're doing something that is badly needed to balance out scaring and making people angry. Giving them a horrible piece of news that's scary and makes them agitated and want to be warriors and start wars and fights and things like that. We don't need pessimism. It's an epidemic around us, and it's an infectious disease, but I don't want you to catch it. I want you to adopt a powerful, optimistic outlook and rejoice each day of your life and try to be very cheerful under all the conditions of life. Start by being kind and caring. And boy, that'll help you get to first base at least. So I'd like to put on an affirmation in a minute about the Optimist Creed to help reframing each day in a simple way. And I have copies for all of you of the Optimist Creed you could take home and put on the refrigerator if you got a magnet, or if you're excited about it, you can Xerox 10 or 20 copies and become a town crier. So we want to be thankful and hopeful for our individual futures, for the future of humanity. These are humanistic values for our future. And that means counting our blessings and seeing the silver lining, softening our hearts and minds to extend emotional healing not only to ourselves but to others, having a capacity for forgiveness, a capacity for small forgiveness and big forgiveness. Especially, a deep self-caring, being kind and otherwise positive attitudes for aging, to recontextualize cycles of your life, working on forgiveness of self and others, mining the past for its riches, not the tragedies and traumas of our life, but what are the riches of our life? What do we have to remind ourselves that we have greater potential than we allow ourselves to believe? And discovering future humanistic directions on different issues and creating a future and building a life legacy that heals all the painful memories of the past and giving ourselves a testimonial dinner for all the severe teachers that have fired us, divorced us, the illnesses that have come our way and been tough. All those are severe teachers, but we view them as teachers. We don't have to view them as wounds, or we can heal the wounds, and we can learn from the tough stuff as well as the happy things. So that's doing philosophic homework. You can even write letters of appreciation to people that have done something that's uplifted your life. I spoke to the Mensa Society at Northwest Unitarian last Saturday night, and it was a wonderful group with Bob Seidler, the law professor from Wayne State, who was very good on constitutional law and separation of church and state. So here are a lot of things we can do to script our last moments on earth. Why not prepare? How would you like your funeral to be done? How do you want to handle the last years? Or the last days or weeks or months. It's good to constructively put that together in writing so the doctors know what you want and the family's signed off too, so you can have a departure that's humane and kind and maybe loving, a good goodbye here. Couple more questions and we're going to put up the Optimist Creed. And in what ways am I giving my life meaning, excitement, and challenge? Or am I an actor rather than a spectator? Are we sitting in front of that TV too much? I'm afraid so. How do we express our wisdom as an elder? What is your legacy? Could you act as a elder of the tribe or serve as a mentor to those who are becoming elders? I mentioned flunking retirement. So I'm going to ask Arthur to put up the Optimist Creed. The Optimist International is an international service club of almost 3,000 clubs, 80,000 members in 20 countries. They have a couple chapters in Oakland County, including the Birmingham Optimists, who I've spoken to and latched onto their Optimist Creed. So we have it up there, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to break it down very quickly and wrap it up. It's promising yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all your friends feel there's something in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature you meet a smile, to give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. Most importantly, promise yourself to be too large for worry. Quaker pacifist, wrote a wonderful little pamphlet. Peace Pilgrim was her name. She came to my class years ago at UD, and she said, even good people worry. She listed all the righteous things, all the virtuous things, but she said, even good people worry. And she didn't want them to. She said, you can let go of that too. So be too large for worry, be too noble for anger, be too strong for fear, and to be happy to permit the presence of trouble. So you can be calm in the midst of negotiations, or calm in a setting that is difficult. So we want that peace of mind to come from being calmer and more relaxed. Well, that could just be breathing in a rocking chair in your backyard. That could be a walk in the park. That could be a bike ride. That could be working out at the club, getting your exercise, taking a bike ride. You know, just keep diet and exercise in the mix. I'm talking mostly attitude. The right attitude can bring peace of mind. It can be a much more relaxed place to operate out of. And you can talk health and happiness and count your blessings and appreciate what you do have. Are we appreciating what we do have? A roof over our head and several things that we take for granted. So be thankful and appreciative. Start each day with optimism, thankfulness, gratitude. See the silver lining, accept yourself and life, and certainly be a light on the path. And appreciate the help your friends bring. Care about your friends. Care about your friends. And look at the sunny side. We're alive each day in the moment. We have what we need. Why don't we relax, enjoy, smile, and have some fun? And go dancing. You know, maybe we could get everybody up here to stretch or something, you know, to have something physical. Think positive. Abide with suffering too. Our cup is more than half full. In each moment, we have what we need. Let me repeat that. Isn't that something? That shifts everything. We're always reaching for more. I want Imelda Marcos had 6,000 shoes. I want 10,000 shoes. You know, I mean, we just have this capitalist consumer, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Consume and get in debt, and we don't have to overburden ourselves. If we had a simple life that let friendship and fun keep us content, and we can do with a small group of people. So I would say build some good karma, have a positive psychology, be highly conscious and happy. The optimistic creed here, optimist creed, does seem to cover a lot. The good qualities, praise others for their good qualities and friendship, and the company friends give you, and the support and mutual aid and the help that we all need to go through this journey together. And forgive and forget the past mistakes. Can we really forgive ourselves for some of the foolishness of our youth, or some of the big mistakes we make, and little mistakes we make? I alternate between both. I make little mistakes and big mistakes. So forgive and forget the past mistakes, accept the circumstances and situations you're in right now, live and let live. So be especially calm and gentle with people who rub your fur the wrong way, or you have profound differences with. We're going to have to learn how to live and let live with all sorts of people. Be cheerful, be thankful, and contribute your optimism and right attitude, clarity of mind, keeping things simple. You could just actually do self-care and self-improvement in so many ways. Diet, exercise, attitude. My efforts are careful driving, holding the railing on my stairs when I walk downstairs, getting earplugs when it's too much noise in the gym, being careful about my balance because I don't want to fall, flossing, and seeing the doctors. It's all important. And your health is everything, right? Your health is everything. But we still have to be compassionate when it isn't perfect. And pessimism is not helpful or healthful. And be too large for worry. Have a philosophic vision. Feed your hope and self-confidence. Elder wisdom leads to becoming, truly a mentor and a sage, aging into saging. And sharpen your optimism, become a prophet, and offering less worry through a positive focus on the possible human, the possible future of humanity, the planet, And be too noble for anger, ease up on fear. It's the root of the anger. And most things we fear won't happen to us. Most things we fear won't happen to us. Stay in the moment, live each day, and frankly, live in peace. Ease up on fear. If you're peaceful, you're not as liable to be as deep into fear. You can operate with less anger also. So you'll have more comfort and joy in reframing your thinking, and be too strong for fear, because an optimist is a brave and courageous person. And be too happy to permit the presence of trouble. Stay calm in the heart and mind, abide calmly in the moment. Start a gratitude journal and develop inner space to expand your peace and calm and become an outer peacemaker, hopefully. Start with reframing your thinking and from fear and anger to hope and optimism. This has practical results in our lives and life itself. I urge you to try it. And frankly, it will help you with family, neighbor, traffic, work, city life, and seeing the world differently. So for me, humanism is an evolutionary cosmology, or a philosophy of life, and it matches humanity's current needs. Humanity needs to get along, not to have wars, not to kill each other. Humanity needs to live in peace, and we need to be careful about name-calling, bullying, meanness. We don't need to treat each other that way. It's a bad way to be distracted. It's a bad sport. You're not a good sport. So I think of humanism as applicable to the accommodating future the species needs to make with climate and planet and the animal kingdom and the natural world. So much has been given to us. And to step into the Old Testament for a minute, weren't we commissioned to take care of the planet? Wasn't one of our first assignments as a human species to care for the planet? So I really think humanism fits the moment, and positive psychology helps both self and society. And I really, really hope that we could go from here into a final poem, and then we'll chat at the afterglow, and I'll have copies of the Optimist Creed for you to take home. Just read a little poem to close. This is a poem called Today. Outside my window, a new day I see, and only I can determine what kind of day it will be. It can be busy and sunny, laughing and gay, or boring and cold, unhappy and gray. My own state of mind is the determining key, for I'm only the person I let myself be. I can be thoughtful, and I can do all I can to help, or be selfish and think just for myself. I can enjoy what I do and make it seem fun, or gripe and complain and make it hard on someone. I can be patient with those who may not understand, or belittle and hurt them as much as I can. But I have faith in myself, and I believe what I say, and I personally intend to make the best of each day. So this has been a good day, and it's a good evening, and I'm just hoping I've cheered you up a little bit and given you some challenges, both to work on your own psychology, but also help save the world. Thank you very much.
Now, Mike does cover a lot of territory when he speaks. Because I like to think of your way of speaking as just dropping little gems for us to pick up on. And there's a lot, but every one of them is a gem. And thank you for sharing. Absolutely. All right, we'll conclude with this beautiful song, Peace Be With You.
Peace be with you wherever you go. Peace be with you whatever you do. Peace be with you till we meet again. Peace be with you, my friend. Love be with you wherever you go. Love be with you whatever you do. Love be with you till we meet again. Love be with you, my friend. Joy be with you wherever again. Joy be with you, my friend. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom. Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Thank you to Joseph. Thank you to Mike, of course, and Gail for also for the sponsorship of the Oneg, to David Weeks for the streaming, and to Arthur for the slides. Join us for our Oneg Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom.